For today's groom, I have my 5-in-1 wall bravura clipper. I have my wall corded clipper. I have some shedding rakes. I have a hand stripping knife. I have a pin brush, my comb. I have a 4, a 5, and a 7 blade. I have my curves and my chunker thinners. I have a slicker brush, and I have some comb attachments. So these are the tools that I will be using for today's groom. Today I will be demonstrating how to groom a giant Schnauzer. This is Butch. He's going to be a very good boy for us today. The goal with the giant Schnauzer is to have a tight and tailored looking dog, where the body is square in build and a rectangular head, and the grooming pattern lines are almost invisible. The giant Schnauzer is either clippered or hand stripped, and that the pattern lines are based on the structure, the bone structure, and the muscle of the individual dog. I like to do all my short clipper work first. So his pads are already done. I'm gonna go and show you the neck and the chest. So where the breastbone is, you like to do 3 to 4 fingers above the breastbone. And then I'm going to go in reverse within the cowlick of the natural V of the neck. And I'm going to use a number 7. So here we go. Right here. And I'm just going to go in reverse up the neck. So with the side angle, you're going to take it where you started it on the throat to the bottom of the ear, the base of the ear. So you're going to stay within the cowlick, and you're going to take it to the base of the ear. And then I'm going to do it on this side. So you should have a V when you're done. So here is my V. Now we're gonna shave in the cheek lines. So from the corner of the eye to the ear, we're gonna shave this forward. And then from the corner of the eye to the cheek whisker nodule, down to the chin whisker nodule, back up the other side to the other cheek whisker nodule, up to the corner of the eye, and back to the ear. Now using a 15, sometimes I use a 30 or a 40, and I'm going to shave the ears. getting ticklish. When they have cropped ears, you got to be very careful. So I like to make sure that I am holding the entire ear inside my hands so that when he does move and jerk around, I'm not going to accidentally cut his ear because it's firmly in my hands.
So I shaved the inside and the outside of the ear with a 30 to a 40 blade. I even shave all the way down the base of the ear and the back of the ear. And then I do a trim around the leather. Okay, here we have 2 freshly shaven ears.
So I'm still continuing my short work. So we're gonna move on to the rear end. So the top of the tail is the same length of the body. So we're gonna focus on the bottom side of the tail. And you could use a 15 or a 7, and you can go against the grain. And then I'm gonna take the same blade down in this cowlick area, and I'm gonna go down into the inside of the legs, just in this area right here. Okay, here we go. A lot of times they want to sit. So I'm keeping my clipper work inside of the natural cowlick of the dog. Be careful of the crown jewels. You may lift the leg up to get a better angle.
Butch, I'm sorry I'm exposing you right now all over the internet. But so we did the base of the tail, and then I kept my short clipper work inside this cowlick. Okay, moving on. Okay, I'm going to use a number 4F, and I'm going to start clippering the body. And I am going in the direction that the coat naturally grows. So I'm not going in reverse, I'm going with the grain of the coat. Now, you want to keep the legs in mind, that you want to keep them parallel. So I am going to use the shoulder muscle to set my front parallel lines. Now I'm making my way down the back and a little bit down into the rib. I'm just working my way back to the rear of the dog. Butch here was really overdue, so I am going through a lot of thick coat right now. I'm just taking my time, trying to get my clipper lines really nice and neat so that I don't leave any track lines. Now I'm making my way to the top of the tail. Remember, we already shaved underneath the tail, and now I'm just matching the top of the tail with the same length as the body. So here I am just cleaning around the tail. Now I'm clippering down the ribs and into the brisket. So I'm skimming off the lower portion of the ribs. I want to have an invisible pattern line. So I'm skimming. You want to show off a powerful rear by accentuating a well-angulated hind end. So you're going to want to use the thigh muscle to set the pattern lines of the back legs. So what I'm doing here is I'm lifting the leg and seeing where the dog's leg naturally bends, because the lowest point of your pattern should be at that bend. So again, I'm using light clipper brush strokes, and I'm just skimming off that thigh muscle and into the bend so that I can try and create this natural pattern with an invisible pattern line. When grooming a dog, you want everything to be a mirrored image. So whatever you do on the left side of the dog, you want to do the exact same thing on the right side of the dog to the best of your abilities. So here I am really feeling where that shoulder and that muscle is, and that's where I'm skimming off my pattern line. Okay, so moving forward, I'm just showing that I did both sides of Butch's body. And you can see right now my pattern lines are pretty invisible. They look really natural for using a clipper. Moving on to the front, so you want to create a W. So when viewed in the profile, the neck into the chest should be straight without a predominant forechest. Sorry, I didn't realize I was blocking the view. Again, I'm feeling the muscle and the structures of the dog, and so I am using my clipper and I'm skimming off those extremities.
Butch, come here. I'm a little weird here. I like to round the foot of my dog by brushing it down and scissoring my shape from underneath the foot as I'm doing here. And I'm going to do the front foot so that you could see what I'm talking about. So I like to shape my foot from underneath and then placing it down and then scissoring around it. Here I'm taking my big chunkers and I'm starting to blend the tops of the foot and in front of the toenails. The back of the hocks should be parallel. Okay, so I'm going to lift the front leg. I'm bending it back as if I was doing the nails or shaving the pads. I brush everything forward and down. I take my curves and I just trim a straight line at the bottom of that pad. And then I usually go to the front of the toes and I trim around the toes. And then I curve it back around, connecting
the front of the foot to the back of the foot. So I like to shape my paw from underneath. Now here's a big rule. You never want to scissor across the paw pad because animals move and you can cut the paw pad. So you never use your scissors across the paw pad. Okay, so I'm brushing everything up of the front legs and I am scissoring down. So you comb up or brush up and you scissor down. So here I'm trying to scissor my parallel legs. I look at the dog from the front, from the side, and from the back of the dog to make sure that my parallel lines are parallel from all angles. And you want to keep back brushing so that you can make sure the evenness of the scissored leg that you're doing. Moving on to the back legs, I'm brushing everything up so that I can scissor down and try and get these parallel legs in. And then Butch, of course, moves in front of my camera, so kind of gotta adjust real quick. Okay, there we go. So here I am, I'm just trying to scissor my parallel lines, my parallel legs. So you want to scissor, you want to comb everything up, check your lines, look at the leg from all angles, front, back, side, and then the inside. Okay, I am very proud of these parallel back legs right now. So I'm just combing it down so that you can see my parallel legs. Moving on to the chest again. So I want to kind of thin this down. It's too puffy. So I'm going to take it down a little bit. The chest, you really want the chest to be flat. When finished in this area, the neck, chest, and front legs drop down in a straight line when viewed in profile. Now I'm taking my thinners and I'm blending in those lines to make the transition from my shaped V-neck into the neck and shoulder. I want a smooth transition. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied over here. So I'm just blending in my lines. And here's my shoulder into chest and my parallel front legs. Okay, so here you want the brisket to go into the dog's elbow. And then you want a slight rise into the tuck up area. So I'm just blending in my tuck up area into the brisket, into the elbow. And I'm trying to make it all one smooth underline. This giant Schnauzer is looking flawless. Now for the head, my favorite part. So I'm taking my foreblade and I'm going reverse and skimming off above his eyebrows. You want to make sure not to cut into the eyebrows, so you're just skimming off before and leaving you some wiggle room to scissor and blend. Boy, is he being a wiggle butt today. I'm doing some fancy tricks over here. So I'm using my clippers to blend the cheek and the side of the head into the top of the head. So you're gonna see me using my clipper going upward on both sides. I'm gonna go back over and blend it with my blenders, but I'm just using my clipper as much as I can. The ideal shape of the head, you want it to be strong and rectangular. So I'm using my thinning shears to blend in the top of the head into the side of the head and into the cheek. Also in the back of the head, that's called the occiput. So I'm blending the back of the head into the neck. So here's just a quick view of my clipper work and my scissor work. Very rectangular to me. Eyebrows are actually my favorite part of grooming any Schnauzer, miniature, standard, and giant, but it can be very difficult for many other people. But for me, this is one of my favorite parts of the groom. Here I tried separating the eyebrows, and I'm trying to thin out in between the eyebrows. Be very careful not to cut into the actual eyebrow. I actually put his eyebrows up in a hair pony because I want to try and clean around the eyes a little better so that the eyebrows can lay a lot nicer. So I'm just carefully thinning with my thinners around this area. Now you want to start blending from the corner of the eye into the sides of the cheek. And you want to try and have a straight parallel line. So here I am combing out the other side. So I'm brushing everything out so that my parallel lines from the outer corner of the eye into the cheek is really nice and neat. Okay, now you want to brush the eyebrows downward towards the nose. And then I use my curved scissors and I flip them backwards so that you get the nice curve of the eyebrow. So the curve of the eyebrow is from the outer side of the eye into the nose. And here I have to keep aligning him so that I don't mess up. And you want to have a good grip so that they don't move and you accidentally like cut an eyebrow off. You don't want that. So I'm really holding him by the goatee. The brows are long, arched triangles exposing the keen eye expression. So you want to keep that in mind when you're doing the eyebrows. So here I am with my curves and I have my scissors flipped around so that I can get that arch in that eyebrow to make it look really beautiful. The eyebrows should be triangular and that they should be very short at the back corner of the eye and longer towards the tips, coming almost halfway down the bridge of the nose. I like to spray my brows, so here I am using a little bit of hairspray, and I'm going to get my comb and I'm going to help shape the eyebrow into its form. On a giant Schnauzer, the beard is left long and natural. Unfortunately for Butch, his beard was chewed off by his siblings. So we're just gonna leave his beard as is and not do much with it here today. I just love doing eyebrows. Look at that side profile. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna grab my shedding rake and I'm going to card his coat, because this is my trick into blending in the pattern lines and making the pattern lines invisible. So this is my little Katrina short grooming hack into helping blending in those pattern lines and making them look nice and natural. Now I'm going to spray some finishing spray, and then I'm going to take my pin brush and I'm just going to brush that all in and work it in. His coat is so velvety and it's nice and black and shiny. It's so beautiful. He has a really beautiful coat. And here he is. Here's the finished product. He looks so stunning. I just love his eyebrows. They're my favorite part.
Come on, pretty boy. Come on.